that it, or was that yesterday? Just coming on. If you're subscribed, I should have if I subscribe, do you ought to be able to? There you go. Is that here? That, just started this live. Okay. Okay, and it's in the pictures, but now it's live pictures. Share. Go back to it again. Should have a like button.
Here, maybe? Thumbs up?
Yeah. Well, it's right underneath. Okay. Thanks. People in your contacts. Yeah, a couple names. Oh yeah, sending it to anyone you can send it like that.
Okay.
And what we did last time, most of the pictures are like send them
Yeah, I thought I would Wait, I'm going to say hi, Crystal. Hey, Crystal. Share. It gave Larry and the people in church, y'all like and share.
Which time is
Here,
it?
this side.
That's the best news I've heard.
Right there. Introduce yourself. Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Well, I'm Robert Trevor Bucher, running for Tarrant County Judge.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's food and drinks in the other room. So if you want to start getting some food, we're going to be starting about 20-ish minutes. So grab some food, grab some drinks, and then we'll get going. Thank you.
Well, I'm Robert Trevor Bucher. I'm running for Tarrant County Judge. This is not my first go-around with the county judge. We definitely need a change, and one of my many platforms is to continue to keep our freedom of speech safe, which our county judge violated that on numerous occasions so far by throwing people out of the commissioner's court. My second one is really getting rid of property taxes the best way I can until we work with the legislator. So I'm going to deal with the tax abatement, and then I'm going to deal with the ad valorem tax. That's when you'll see true tax change. They don't tell y'all about that. They don't want you to know about that because that's where they do line item taxing. And my other platform is to bring the meetings back 4 times a month, not just 1 time a month. The county judge makes way too much money, along with the commissioners, to keep 1 meeting a month. That's suppression of speech. I don't like that. I want to bring it back to the 4 we have. And that's one of my many platforms. And I hope you vote for Robert Trevor Bucher for Tarrant County Judge.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
ma'am.
And this is a conservative judge.
Yes,
talking.
yes, I am.
We've already been dealing with this
Yeah.
side, so.
Yeah, but I'm a conservative. I don't play in the swamp. I'm really what they call a rogue Republican, which means they don't want me in there because I know how to make the change. They don't want me to reinvent the wheel or destroy the wheel.
That's it. That's it.
Thank y'all. Appreciate it.
you.
Thank y'all.
you.
Y'all are awesome.
What's your name?
My name is, yeah. Can I give you one more? Thanks. Maybe that'll help you out.
Yes, thank you. And be sure y'all
Oh, well, you can get 5 more.
share this out to all of our Texas people because somebody knows somebody. Share it out. Do I need to turn this? Yeah, let me turn my phone. I had to put this in there because it fell out. Unless you're okay, let's. That's what I think I do. Let's talk. Richard's going to talk into this. Anyway, Richard's on the way.
Hello,
Him.
can you hear me? Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, talk so I can hear you.
Hello, testing, 1, 2, 3. Hi, my name's Aaron. Aaron James.
Aaron?
Yes,
Hi,
ma'am.
Aaron. I'm Ann Lake.
Okay.
And on YouTube, live streaming with you.
Okay, cool.
And this is Richard.
Yeah. Harry Richard, yes. Great. Thanks. Yeah, thanks.
Now, are you?
I'm a precinct chair for Tarrant County. And also running for city council in White Settlers.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Would you like to hear?
No, really, no, people on YouTube.
Well, I mean, whenever I guess we get started, I may mention,
Are you good to speak?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then we'll get you. Good. Thank you. Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Y'all want anything to eat? There should be some. Y'all want anything to eat? There should be some food in there.
Okay. Thank you, sir. My phone checks out everything.
Yeah, that's my other number. You have this one.
Hey, who is it? Oh, hey, I'm sorry. Yeah, I thought it was one of the kids, and I thought I dialed wrong. I'm sorry. I'm calling from a different phone. Okay, I'll call. His is 9-6. Because on mine they're 1 and 10. do is get on Amway, Texas, on YouTube, and it's live. And then you just hit the thumbs up button and share. Okay? Thank you, bye. Hey, I met a couple guys that's running for sheriff here. Okay. Yes, get on YouTube. Yeah. My channel should do have like Texas.
Okay.
Say live. I probably notified you, huh? Yeah, me too. I was screening my phone. Okay, do you see it on there? No, all you hit that. My channels are on my videos. It says live. It should be the very first one forward. Yeah, that's a picture of not channel. It's a lady talking. They're not starting yet. What do you see? That guy straight. You got it? Okay, so just hit the thumbs up, share. That's it. That'll at least. Okay, you said you have to crank your deck. Is it coming in sideways? Is it coming in sideways on yours? And that guy standing straight in, you see him with his jacket, the t-shirt, and cowboy hat? Okay, he's one of them that's running for sheriff. Or for judge, I'm sorry, for judge. Yeah. No, well, how do I share? It should say share. On the bottom, there's an arrow. It's just an arrow. See it down there? There'll be a thumbs up, thumbs down, and an arrow. Yeah, you have to get into the chat. That usually is, okay, hit the X and this, it should, show what's going on.
started, if you'll give it to me, I'll go around and give it to everybody in the room, their Facebook, so everybody can live stream it too. So yeah, if you'll just send me the link once you get it up, I'll send it to everyone in the room and tell them to live stream it too. Yeah, wait for it.
Yeah, that's what I was just figuring out. Some church and
Yeah. Because most of them will probably be doing it themselves. And if you're doing it, they'll just run your easy because they're going to hear you see them all over their phones. And it's easier to do how to stay involved than to do it now.
That was rough.
I guess we're still going through these
Yeah, because see, I need to get some more. Guys, we're just kind of warming up here. I've talked to a couple of people.
This was John Ford.
Another one of my favorite people.
Vehicle out there. That was you with the flags, baby.
See my flag.
Yep.
I can't put one on the back end of that junk car.
Like a big long one or something. So big fingers.
Yeah, I can't put any. There's nowhere to hook it in. And no bumper. Yeah. No bumper. But that's okay. I got a sunroof.
Still waving at us.
Had you met Richard?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
It's good to see you, man. How you been?
Yeah.
Good, looking good.
Joe's about in North Carolina, probably in West Virginia, but he stopped in North Carolina.
Oh, I saw you still traveling.
He had snow and stuff.
One thing about Texas, man.
Yes.
Still in the West. As far as the snowstorms, still in the state for a month.
So have you guys spent much time?
Spent a month here. Save the horses on it. And I'm like, I'm not getting any others. Thank you.
Y'all even named it ribeye and chunky.
I like ribeye. That's what it is.
And these were Angus and some other meats.
Yeah,
Like, yes. Oh my gosh. And they, the meat is excellent.
say those are the charge that $79 a pound or something.
Yeah, really amazing.
Dude, that stuff's up there.
Just get a couple of pounds mixed. That's what they did for the last two.
Just one in, I would just have, like they had a half a side of meat, you know?
So are you guys all going to be in Dallas this afternoon?
I'm doing it for the beer.
I think, is there another big event in Dallas this afternoon? In Dallas. We went by 5, we got a few. Trying to get more Texas
All over the road, too. All over the state, the road. We haven't gone south yet. We've been to San Antonio. Maybe saving that for when it's cold as 0 Go down the pond.
Good afternoon, everybody. We will be starting in about 10 minutes. Thank y'all for coming out.
Yeah, he's starting to get some good momentum.
Okay guys, I'm
And if you want something to eat, there's
And y'all let me know how well you hear this.
as well as some drinks. Help yourself.
Yes. Are you still at Jeff and Lisa? Oh my goodness. I love you guys.
True American heroes, you know, Dog Man #1. This tall guy right here. See him with the cowboy hat on?
They have another event in Dallas this afternoon. 6 p.m. Check and see how late.
Anybody try to kick you out yet? All right, let me know.
I will. Get the front and say hi to Joe. Say hi to Joe. Okay, Joe.
Hey,
you know
Joe.
who this is.
They brought me out of the trailer park. I'm getting to meet people again today.
See, he's got to be security, Joe. Look what minute it is.
That's right. Got a real big pocket.
Thanks, Chad.
I got 2 of them. I got one for each hand. And a pistol somewhere that nobody can see. Yep. So far, we've been pretty lucky. We've had a couple people. They weren't even trying to. They just wanted to be disruptive. They just wanted to live and just do content. And we usually got some pretty big boys running around. I felt like this was a
Seeing me
pretty
in
friendly
full screen.
event. We don't
I know
have
the
the big guys
chat's
coming
not.
up.
I'm going to start taking
No.
my grandson.
I told them we were at TCU and we have all these tier 1 X, Green Berets, they're all stand a foot taller than me and look around. And the guy that ran the girl was talking to Doc out. He goes, big boy working for you. He goes, but you know what scares me? That's why I went over there in the baseball cap.
Patriots at 5.
Hey, hey! Howdy.
Did you catch that one?
But we, yeah, he goes, that guy get on me like a spider. I was thinking, move. I'm not big enough to get in there and wrestle you. I'll hit you with a kneecap and run away. Yes, ma'am.
Now, is that, y'all can tell me how to change the chat. Okay.
And don't you become a pain in my butt. Yeah, exactly.
Ladies
ago,
and
President Chair,
gentlemen, please find a seat. We are about to start.
I met him then, I saw his interview with
Good
Larry
afternoon,
Rupert.
everyone. If y'all would please find your seats, we're about to start. If you would find your seats, we're about to get started.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming on a Saturday noon to an event for Dogfield Chambers, who's a patriot that is running to fix Texas and to make Texas the conservative state that everybody thinks it is. It's not. So we are gonna start with a pledge, and Doc's beautiful fiance, Lydia, is gonna be opening up with a prayer, the prayer before pledge. So, Lydia, if you don't mind, let us do a prayer.
Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. My name is Lydia Ruth, and I would love to pray and invite our Creator and the presence of the Holy Spirit into this room. So, Lord Jesus, we come before you, and we thank you for this time. We thank you for this opportunity. We thank you that we have a chance, Lord, to preserve freedom for our posterity. Lord, I ask that you would give every single person in this room the wisdom, the strength, and the courage to take the right path, to make the right decisions, to be strong in you, and Lord, to have courage in this time. Lord, we commit these moments to you, we commit our conversations to you, and we ask that you would bless us. God, it says in your word, when we dwell together in unity, you command a blessing over us. So Lord, I just speak a spirit of unity over your children in this moment, and Lord, that you would bless this group of patriots in the name and the authority of the Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Now, Trevor Booker, who's running for Tarrant County Judge, will open with the American Pledge.
Yep.
All right, everybody, let's face the American flag. I'll pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yeah.
Now let's face the Texas.
Sir. And now, Susan Badian, who's running for House District 94. She's gonna do the Texas Pledge.
Let's pledge to the greatest state.
Now we have a few announcements that Elba, I don't know where Elba, I think it's Elba. My God. Elba is gonna have a few announcements before we get going.
Yes.
Hi, welcome you guys, and those that are coming from outside of Fort Worth area. We really appreciate you here. Welcome to Fort Worth. My name is Alice Camacho. I'm a precinct chair for 1014, and I just wanted to send out some information on announcements that we have. I know most of you are probably already registered to vote, but if you're not, we have someone on site to help you register. Just get with me or any one of the Uli or anybody else that's here, and they'll lead you to me. Also, precinct chair signups are also Gail, who's in charge of that. She's in her office on the end there. If anybody needs to sign up for that. And also, if you look around, there's some little signs up here. Tanner County Republican Hispanic Assembly is doing a drive and a donation for our elderly. We've adopted a home, and we do a sock drive every year, and we are collecting items for that. We have a gift bag get together happening on next Tuesday, and everybody's welcome. And we need blankets, socks, snacks, puzzles, and anything else you want to donate would be great. And also on your way out, or if you happen to be around there, I don't suggest doing it now, but more on your way out, we have some free books that are up here on the side. When you walk in, there's a little sign there. Take as many as you want. You got Christmas gifts right there. So, all right, well, yeah, let's get ready for some more news here. Thank you for coming.
Are there any candidates in the House this afternoon? Okay. Yeah, please come forward if you're a candidate running in your race and introduce yourself.
My name is Gregorio Heiss, and I'm running for Congress District 30. I'm taking Jasmine Crockett out of Texas. Thank you. I don't need to explain what I'm going to run against because you already know who she is. So that's really my whole campaign, is to get rid of the garbage that is in the state. It is about Texas values, Texas Constitution, and our United States Constitution. And one thing is I am for getting rid of these illegal aliens in our country, because my parents came from Chile. We did it the right way, and we had it. Because of that, they wanted the American dream. I ended up joining the military. I did the Navy and the Texas National Guard, and now this is how I got to meet one of the best men that I've ever met, Doc. Because I worked under him as a recovery diver, so I brought angels home that needed to come home. And that was the hardest duty I ever had in my life. And because I had the honor to work under him, I do support him, because he is for this Texas and to make sure that we are Texans, not others. So thank you for your time.
I'm Rupert, running for Tarrant County Judge, and one of my main platforms is we need to bring back the First Amendment to the Commissioners Court, as it's been, torn down. Unfortunately, no, I'm the guy that likes the Constitution. We also need to learn how to truly give tax breaks, and how we do that is we look at tax abatement and ad valorem taxes. That's the one way to get true tax reform. And also, I want to bring the meetings back to 4 times a month instead of 1. We pay the county judge too much money to just work 1 time a month to suppress our speech. I'm Rupert, Tarrant County Judge.
I'm Susan Valiant, running for Texas House District 94. And as of yesterday, we have 5 candidates now in our race. So just to let you know, I'm the better one. But my biggest issue is to eliminate property taxes. And I've kind of started adopting the get rid of the H-1Bs, because that's taking jobs away from our youth, and that's something that we need to really start kind of concentrating on, is our youth and getting them involved. And this is one of the big issues that I think that we can actually get them participating in to help. Anyway, Susan Valiant for Texas House District 94.
And everyone, my name is Aaron James, and I'm running for White Settlement City Council Place 1. And my intention is to bring transparency to City Hall in White Settlement, and would appreciate your support. If you have any friends or family in White Settlement,
help get out the word, I would appreciate it. You can find me on Facebook, Aaron James, and Aaron James for Texas. And again, I'm running for White Settlement City Council, Place 1. It's a special election, and early voting is going on all this week until Tuesday. And then the election day will be Saturday, the 13th. So we appreciate your support. Thanks.
Now we are, before Doug speaks, we have a special guest. He's running for Railroad Commissioner. So, James, if you mind come and introducing yourself and telling us about you.
Well, I'm James Matlock. I'm running for Texas Railroad Commission, and I'm one of those people, a bit controversial with some, but you either love me or you hate me. And I had a conversation this morning on my way up from Nacogdoches. It was 33 years ago, this past Monday, I stood on the yellow footprints in the at MCRD San Diego, California. I took an oath to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Now, in order to understand the Constitution, you have to go back and look at the preamble. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare. The most important part is secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. Now, I know we have some talking about enemies in the wire and all this stuff. And last year I ran on such a platform against Christie. We need to look at who our true enemy is. And, my oath didn't include any politician, any group of people, any corporation or anything like that. It was to you, the people. And I still uphold that oath today. And, we have people trying to take over our individual lands, our water rights, things of that nature. And, we need to protect the individual. That's what this country and this state was founded on, is individuality. And, we also need accountability within the Railroad Commission. I'm not sure how many is familiar with Lake Beamer out in West Texas. Well, was drilled in the 50s for hydrocarbons. They came in to plug it in the 70s, ended up plugging it back for a water well for the farmer. And the property sold anyway, with all the water we're injecting into the ground, it started leaking years ago. And TCEQ says it was originally drilled for hydrocarbons, not our property. Railroad Commission said, but it was plugged back for water well, not our property. Meanwhile, TxDOT spent over $15 million rerouting the farm room. They should have never had been rerouted due to the water level rising. And that makes it our problem, because that's our tax dollars that we spend. We could take responsibility for it and start recycling the water, which the legislature made it possible for us to recycle water this year, which was one of my big campaign platforms last year, was recycling for farm use. And, so we need to step up and actually take responsibility for the issues, and then we'll move forward. But, like I said, I'm James Matlock, and I'm running for Railroad Commission. I'll be back here if you have any questions. I'd love to talk to you, answer any questions you have. And y'all have a great day. Thanks for letting me come out.
And now, the moment that you guys have been waiting for, the man of the hour. So, pardon my voice, that's echo in the microphone. Dave Petro running for governor, who will be our next governor, and hopefully the grassroots groups will endorse him. Through Texas Project, Grassroots for America with the people. This is the person to endorse. Not endorsing for governor means an endorsement for a vote. So I really hope that every member of the True Texas Project or Grassroots of America contact Julie and Fran McCarthy and tell them we need the big chambers endorse. Thank you.
Doc Pete Chambers is a decorated U.S. Army veteran whose remarkable 39-year military career includes service in the active duty, reserves, and the National Guard. He began his service as an enlisted infantryman and became a senior Green Beret officer and Special Operations Flight Surgeon. He honorably served in multiple overseas combat deployments. He was honored to serve Texans in the Texas Army National Guard during his last 8 years in uniform. Doc is a combat wounded Purple Heart recipient and has also been awarded numerous awards, including the Bronze Star Medal, Meritorious Service Medal, and Combat Medical Badge. Testaments to his courage and leadership in combat and operational medicine. If you would, please put your hands together for Doc Pete Chambers.
First thing I'm going to do is abolish the word governor. It's senior public servant. It's just a little too British for me. I probably fought a couple of wars against them. Any people that are from Great Britain, excuse me on that. Does your vote count? Does each and every one of your votes count? You're here today because I know that you believe that, but does it count without a fight? Because we're in this to fight. We're in this to fight. Bob Hall, Senator Bob Hall, is a friend, and I heard him say this not too long ago. This is a poem. He quoted it. I asked him if I could use it. This right here is a horseshoe nail. Right? Keep them in my barn. I had many horses in the past. I have one now. But for want of a nail, a shoe could be lost. For want of a shoe, a horse could be lost. For want of a horse, a rider could be lost. For want of a rider, a battle can be lost. For loss of a battle, for loss of a battle, a war can be lost. For loss of a war, a nation can be lost. For loss of a nation, freedom, worldwide freedom can be lost. Texas is the domino of the flyover states. As Texas goes, so does the breadbasket of America. And they know this on the East Coast and the West Coast, because they're used to living comfortably. But without us, they don't eat. Without us, they don't have somebody on the frontier, 1,245 miles of Texas border with Mexico, that I've stood on. And there are others in this room. Any veterans in this room, by the way, I want to honor you. Thank you for your service. Let's give them a round of applause. Because you veterans out there that know this, and families of veterans know this even more. Because when we're downrange, we just live day to day. Some of us die. But the families take the burden, the brunt of the burden. You write a check that is payable with your life. You pray that it's not cashed. And when you get out, the oath that you took doesn't end. And in this book right here, people ask me, Doc, how do you get so red-pilled on everything? How do you know this? I said, I'm not red-pilled. I'm red-leaded. Yeah. This book right here, there's anybody that this one is mine. They made this one for me, the Green Beret emblem on it, Deal Principal Lee Bear. I was doing a retirement summer point for a Green Beret downrange. Back at Brad. Back at Brad is now downrange to me. We don't retire. There's a story here about Joshua and Caleb, and they're looking off into the promised land. They were sent to go down and do a recon into the promised land. And they came back and said, we can take it. And the rest of them said, no, there's giants over there, there's Nephilim, we can't do it. And it took until Caleb was 86 years old that he was able to go in as one of the 2 spies, if you will, recon element, to take the land. We're in a minority, folks. And when I'm talking about a minority, I'm not talking about Republican or Democrat. I'm talking about true patriots that love this nation, that understand this principle that our votes do matter, that each and every one of us collectively, as Lydia's prayer spoke about, collectively will bring to bear the force and what Rupert Travis talked about from the walls of the Alamo in 1836, 24 February 1836. He said, and I wrote this letter on a lot of walls downrange, Afghanistan, Iraq, Jordan, the place where I was living, because I knew it could possibly be an Alamo. He said, to all Texans and Americans in the world, fellow citizens and compatriots, we are besieged on all sides by enemies under then Santa Ana. The enemies now are principalities, rulers of darkness, tyrannical actors, enemies in the wire. That part that Gregorio talked about in the oath, and Matlock knows this too. All enemies foreign, let's not forget the domestic. Those are the traitors. Those are the seditionists. Those are the ones that every day work to undo the things that we did. And for me, 21 Americans, some of them good friends, that I put in a body bag and sent home in a dignified transfer. I don't take those jobs lightly. I read my job description. And my job description that assumed, don't assume, remember that one? Yep. But that job description, that those of us that took it seriously, the first general order that I ever got as a young soldier, and I'm sitting there looking at North Korea from South Korea, making sure the Chinese order doesn't come across as a 19-year-old. I will guard everything that limits my post, and I'll stand my post until properly relieved. The only day that I'm properly relieved is when I go back to meet the person, the man, the deity that gives me my marching orders, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. So now, glory to Him. So as I put my nail away, I'm going to keep it here where I can remember. Try not to stick it in my ear. Although it might work for earwax. Please, saying no, don't talk about that. I'm sorry, so your breath will still come out to me. But as I'm here in front of you today, asking you to trust me, that you can sleep in your bed at night and sleep peacefully knowing that your frontier is guarded. You can sleep peacefully in your bed at night knowing that Texas has enough water to make it past 2050. You can sleep peacefully in your bed at night knowing that there's not an entity called Colony Ridge, 40 square miles of illegals living in Harris County. You can sleep peacefully in your bed at night knowing that Sharia law has no business in the state of Texas or in the United States today. You have to know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that the person standing in front of you will, as John Knox did when he went in 1500s in Scotland and interposed, stood in the gap for the serfs. Just the regular people. How many Scots-Irish do we have in the room? I guarantee you, you are descendants of them. And I know there's one right here. I'm going to go ahead and call her out. Mary Flynn, Gerald Flynn's sister. Give her a round of applause. I knew that I'd wake her up when I said Scots-Irish. That John Knox at 15 something or other, he went to the lords and said, hey, here's the biblical principles that say that the doctrine of lesser magistrates exists. What does that mean? It means that the lowest common denominator level, in the figurative minds of the lords, that's where real leadership takes place. That's where real freedom takes place. That's where real sovereignty that is ordained by our Creator is passed to us. It is not for those in the upper level management, if you will, to dictate to us. When it's in our Constitution, certain enumerated powers that is required upon them, those servants at the federal level, required upon me, the servant at the state level. It is my job to stand in the gap. I love President Trump. But if there's everything that comes out of the administration that oversteps the line, I have to be the one to interpose. And it's not about lawsuits, because thank Jesus I'm not a lawyer. It's not about lawsuits. That's what we seem to do a lot of, wasting your tax dollars on lawsuits. It's about living in the sovereignty that we already have. It's that easy. Now, in the state of Texas, it's my job to stand in the gap for you. So what does that look like? Well, now we're going to get to policy stuff. All right? I've got to have a baseline of security. The only reason I'm standing in front of you today is because I was approached by a bunch of folks in Bottom, Texas, from all over this state, some from around the country, that said, would you consider running for governor? And I said, no. But I'll pray about it for a week. I prayed the most dangerous prayer you could possibly ever pray, which was the same one that I prayed should I go in the Army. 39 years later, there I was. I thought after 9/11 I was going to come home after a couple of years. We did 20 years of war. Collectively, we did 20 years of war. You did 20 years of war, family members. War is insanity that's tangible. It's insanity. It's ugly. It's something I never want to have upon this nation, ever. But right now we're in the precipice of a color revolution coming into this nation that is insidious. What's a color revolution? It's a non-kinetic coup. Okay? Non-kinetic means there's no shots being fired. It's a coup to overtake, to disenfranchise, demoralize, and destabilize the nation. Now, how do I know these things? Because I spent a year and a half becoming a Green Beret officer who understands what that means and what it smells like. And I've been in 53 other countries in the world, and many of those were going through those situations. Sometimes color revolutions are created by our own Department of State. That's a whole other story. These are things that are done because of what? Something that Frederic Bastiat talked about the Frederic in the book The Law. Read it. It's a small treatise. It's a great treatise. It was written during the French Revolution. And Frederic Bastiat said, look at America. Look at how it shines. And what happened here in France? We lost our property based upon our legislators unlawfully plundering the citizens. Because greed is greed. Now, there are 4 reasons why people will live. Somebody in front of you like me that says, I'm going to take care of you, I'm going to decrease taxes, and I'm going to be the best politician you've ever seen. There are 4 reasons why they'll be lying to you. And they come before or after they get in office. Just remember this. Put this principle on anybody that you see out there, because I'm enlisting you in the ranks of this army. Well, I call it the army of God, and I ended up on Tucker Carlson about it. What is this army of God you speak of? MICE, M-I-C-E, money, ideology, coercion, and ego. And we all have an ego, I promise you. I'll be like Paul, who didn't say I'm the worst of all sinners, but I've been redeemed by the blood of the Lamb. That turns me around when I have to repent, turn around, go the other way. And sometimes I bounce back in and go right the wrong way again. But we got to keep repenting. But but ego, as an officer, when my instructors were teaching me, right, 1983, 9 September 1983, Fort Benning, Georgia, where all my instructors were Vietnam vets, men that I wanted to become like, because they survived a horrendous battle, a horrendous war. 58,000 of them didn't come home. And it was not a declared war, right? It was an action. You learn that as a commander, you are responsible for everything that happens or fails to happen. It's that simple. That means if I'm governor, I'll take complete blame if we screw up. If I'm governor and we do well, it'll be my staff. It's the only reason we're here today still in this race. My staff, our team, are the best and the finest in the nation. The retired military, retired former, smart people in corporate world, one up standing in the back. Smartest people in the world, most dedicated. Not one of them's taken a dime to run this campaign. And we've made a pretty good lick of it. And we will make it to the primary. And we will be a force to contend with. I promise you that. And what I learned as a commander was that yes, you are responsible, but you also eat It's a very simple principle here. You eat after your troops. What does that mean? That's a servant's heart. That's the same heart that I saw my dad, who was a small town doctor, who left a war-torn European nation as a kid, who fought as a partisan, and then fought in a communist war against communists, who came to America, assimilated, didn't teach us his foreign language nation. American, my mom, American. Didn't teach us his language. Told me I will join the Army at 18. My dad became a small town doctor. And I used to ride with him around the country with a little black bag and do house calls on weekends. And I learned that servant's heart. The same servant's heart that I see in General Flynn. The same servant's heart that I see in this president. Because we assimilate to you. You don't assimilate to us. You're the we the people. It should be a t-shirt. You are the we the people. We by and for the people. That's what we're about. Now, I'm not going to pontificate for a long time here because I really want to hear your thoughts. I want to get into the dialogue, not the dialectic, as part of the problem. We will decrease taxes. We will give 100% no tax for single-family dwellings. If you have children that are out of school, you don't pay school tax. These are common sense things. Right? There'll be some Democrats voting for us, I promise you. Okay? But we got to secure that border, and I mean truly secure it. President Trump put a tourniquet on the border, right? Less numbers coming across. Less numbers coming across. All right, President Trump did that. But we got 10,000 tiny cuts that already exist. There are 30,000 enemy combatants in the state of Texas alone. From 150 different countries, people came across while I was on Operation Lone Star, working directly for the governor's staff. Briefing. Operation Lone Star, the senior doctor, Green Beret, like I worked 2 hats that was down there. And I had 6,000 soldiers under me. And when the shots came in, do y'all remember the shots? You remember how we got stood down in the state, we had to hide, we had to get 6 feet apart, and we had to put on masks. I'll get to questions and say, oh, you have a question, you say no. Oh, you're agreeing. I agree with you. Praise the Lord. But you remember that. What happened? In comes this thing called coronavirus. Well, in 1996, I took my first medical boards. Guess what coronavirus is? It's the common cold. Now you put a gain of function on the end of it, and it becomes a bioweapon. And as a guy, as a special operations surgeon, flight surgeon as well, required to read a lot of books, and I passed the tests. I know the difference between a bioweapon and the common cold. I talked to the people at Fort Detrick where it was created in the early 2000s. The early 2000s before COVID was a thing. And somehow it escaped out of the lab somewhere, either in Wuhan or wherever. And my job at that time on the governor's staff for COVID was to advise the governor's staff. Now, I'm not going to sling buttons, I'm going to tell you truths. I was the only Army guy in the Operations Center in Lamar Street, downtown Austin, underneath the DPS headquarters. Where we run all of our emergencies in the state of Texas. Texas Department of Emergency Management, Texas State Health Services, all those folks that are making decisions for you. And they told us in the first year we would have 10 million people dead in Texas from the virus. Within the first few weeks, I didn't see that happening. I was making phone calls to all the emergency rooms of my compadres that I went to residency with down in Beaumont and Port Arthur. And I would call them and they'd say, no, we're not seeing that, but they're dying when they're putting them on the fence. They're giving them remdesivir. Okay, well, just like you, I mean, I was a plumber on the battlefield. I stopped bleeding in bad places. But I could read, and I studied real quick. I walked into one of the meetings and I sat there and I gave a briefing on the 20th of March, 2020, to that whole room, about this many people. Governor was not there, but his chief of staff was. And I said, here's my PowerPoint. I gave a 25-page PowerPoint to consider ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine. People in China and people in Africa are not having a problem with this. People in India are not having a problem with this. They take ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine regularly. I've used those drugs since 2003 as a surgeon, non-military. They said, do not ever say that again in this room. And I said, why? They didn't outright me. I was military, there was civilian, but I was willing to ask the question, why? Because Trump said that. I said, is Trump a doctor? Has he worked with these drugs for nearly 20 years? I respect the man for saying it, but this is what I'm showing you, that you can stop this thing right now by just giving everybody access to those medications. Now we see it's coming out. And so they sent me to the border and said, no, we don't need you in this office. Go ahead and go down to the border and do what you do as a Green Beret. Okay. So I got 6,000 troops under me, and here comes the mandates and said, we're going to give them these shots. And I was looking at the Defense Medical Epidemiology Database, the DMED, which was showing that we had 1,100% rise in neurologic disorders in the military of the ones that had already taken the shots. But I was watching it myself. I was taking care of a 27-year-old, my first case on the border in McAllen, 27-year-old sergeant, heart attack, myocarditis for their pericarditis. He's now medically discharged. I pray he's still alive. Another one that had a stroke at the age of 30. Took him a year to go through speech rehab. It was 2 of the numerous. So when they came to me and said, why aren't you giving shots down here on this border? I said, because it's unlawful. They're not safe, they're not effective. And then the 3rd time when I sent the shot teams home, the 4th time, was the 3rd time actually, a general showed up, 2-star general. Now, I'm just lieutenant colonel. And the 2-star general comes in, we play this little game, it's called rock, paper, rank. Right? That's the veterans laughing at me, they know what I'm talking about. I could be a lieutenant colonel all day long. When a 2-star general walks in, he says, you will stop doing that, you will start giving shots. Get with the program, Chambers, quote unquote. It's not about the science, it's about the policy. We look terrible. Texas looks terrible. They say, sir, that's not unlawful order. That's an unlawful order, so please don't make me do this. He said, you're not going to do it. I said, no, sir. He said, your career's on the line. I said, I've been willing to die for my man. Home line. I don't care about my career right now. He said, you don't care about your career? All right. And they sent a guy down to replace me. This doctor that came down, he's currently a 1-star general. I'd still be on Operation Lone Star. But he's currently a 1-star general. But I'm not jealous. So what did I do? I retired. I went on Alex Jones' show. I told the truth. I've never watched Alex Jones prior to that. But I knew he had a large audience. And I started telling the truth. I was still technically in uniform. And you know what happens to an officer from Special Operations Command going on Alex Jones against the DOD? They squash you. Persona non grata, that's the Latin phrase for it. You are not welcome here. Yeah, I was one of 5 doctors in the whole United States inventory in the history of the United States Army that went through the qualification course to become a Green Beret. I was the first one. That's not a bragging thing, that's just a fact. So when you're the golden child, all of a sudden you go to persona non grata, it's embarrassing for them. Because now you just give it up your career. And I got basically not fired, but fired off the job and sent to a job in a room, working in a room about that size, doing evaluations of physicals. Like, I'm retiring and I'm going on Alex Jones. And I started telling the truth. That's the only reason that I'm even have anything on social media, because I started firing the truth now. Truth. Testified 2 federal court cases. The general that fired me had to step down because they realized he was lying. He was lying when he said he didn't issue me an unlawful order. I had the proof because it was in a letter that he wrote me on an email. Some of our generals are not that bright. Anyway, that being said, I got out of the military, started doing counter-human trafficking on the border, started teaching ranchers how to not get in a gunfight with cartel guys, because you're going to do that every day, and how to protect your property by sovereignty. That's what I started doing. And that's when I was approached by the people that asked me, would you run for governor? So here I am. I'll pontificate a little longer than I wanted to. But I want you to understand, you've got to know the person in front of you, because the center of gravity for me, right here, is people. The center of gravity for most politicians is to get reelected. I'm a permanent guy. But that is the center of gravity. And the center of gravity for the corporatocracy is profit. I've got to take all the entities that have a lot of A lot of money being spent on the administrative side in Texas, Texas Education Agency, Texas Medical Board. And I've got to decentralize it, which means abolishing those agencies. I've got to take it so that we can give everything down to the lowest common denominator in the doctrine of lesser magistrates I spoke of earlier, so that people at the county level run their business. Texas is like 8 or 9 different countries, different flavors. They should be able to handle their business. If there needs to be anything from the top, it's when somebody is breaking the law. That's when the top steps in. Then I'm interposing for you at the lower level in the sense of hierarchy of government. And to me, it's not the lower level, it's the higher level. The states created the federal government. I don't care what the Supremacy Clause says. You can't be supreme to something that created you. Our job is enumerated by the powers that are dictated to us in the state constitution as well as the federal. Correct? So for me, when I say citizen-led governance, it's on the website. What does that mean? That means what we're going to get to next is I need to listen to you, find out who's passionate about the particular item that they're talking about. Former teachers, some are still teachers. I met one in this room not too long ago. He's helping me write the policy, the decentralized education in Texas, to take the 80% of administrative costs at the district levels, the school districts, and give that back to the teachers for their pay raises, give it back to the students. Not just to learn how to take a test and pass it. I can take any test in the world. I can take an engineering test right now and pass it. So I know how the questions are asked and which one's the long answer is usually right, etc. You play the game of how to take a test. But can you survive in life? Could I not take a 16-year-old and start them out in in the IT business, right? In IT, at 16 years old, they have an aptitude for it. So that by the time they finish high school, they can compete against the H-1Bs that are coming from Mumbai and from other nations, Bangkok. Those kids are taught that at an early age. They come here, and the H-1B visas are taking those jobs. I can't affect what happens on the immigration side of the house at the federal level, but I sure can at the state level. I sure can appoint boards of regents that will do their job and get rid of the woke DEI policies. Now, they'll tell you they outlaw them, but they're still there. These are taxpayer-funded schools. H-1B visa program, we've got to stand by here in Texas. We will set the standard. So the policy people on that, I met people in rooms like this, are creating the policies. They're on the website. I invite you to look them up. They're white papers. For me to explain every one of them today, it would take me 8 hours. But every policy that we talk about is there. So I'm going to open it up to questions. But before I do that, I'm going to talk about 3 movies. I'm going to kind of end on a good note, and something you remember me by. 3 movies. True Grit, number 1. It's going to take some grit. We're going to have to put on our sombreros, and we're going to have to get after it. Second movie is Braveheart. All right, you Scots Irish, here you are again. I don't care what color your kilt is. We've got to unite the tribes, clans. We've got to unite. We're going to stop the infighting on the Republican side and the American side. We've got to take a come along, if you ever been to work fence, and we got to pull this fence back together. One side's blue and one side's red. Because the things, the dialectics that have taken place in this nation have disenfranchised us to the point where some people hate each other just because of the way they look. Stop. If you're yourself getting emotional about something should be a discourse, we both get lost. We can have a dialogue. I had people get angry, stand up, why won't you do something about this? I'm like, I'm not the governor. But I'll try my best. But I'll take that passionate person, put them on the citizen-led governance task force. The governor can assign task forces up to 24 people each and commissions without putting former governors on the task force, without putting lobbyists on the task force, without special interests, but surely you, and you come up with the bottom line up front. So what? In the course of action. I look at it, we talk about it, and we move it forward. That's how we do it. That's citizen-led governance. That's moving it down to you running your government. It can't be willy-nilly. There will be standards for people on the boards, because we've got to have people that are the best and the brightest in the particular field they're in. But we can have people out there as well that have a passion, that understand, that don't have to have a degree, but a passion for what they're talking about, because it's only 24 of them on each one. And already developing the task forces now. We got to hit the ground running at 27. Got a lot of work to do. Okay, and then last movie. Thank you for the 3 fingers. The last movie, Gladiator. Maximus comes in, thinks it's done. Just like me, I want to go back up to the Red River, raise square annies, and sell them to the Roman industry. Sold every one of us like a hundred, rescuing kids on the border. But I'm going to tell you something. There's a republic that exists, and the Republic of Texas existed. 1836 from 1845, until my book was illegally annexed. That's my opinion. But we're here. But there was a dream that was once Texas. It's still there. In the final segment of what William Barrett Travis talked about in his Travis letter, and I beseech you, everything dear to the American character, to come to our aid with all dispatch. And we'll do everything that is in my honor, due to a soldier, to defend this not alone, this republic. And I will give it back to the people. So help me God. Thank you. Also, before the questions, I was asked to lift up Sherry Moore. Where's she at? Now, here's the question. She doesn't talk, but we want to say thank you. Thank you. Okay, so let's go with the time hack here, because I'm a time on target guy. I've got to be on the road in about 45 minutes. So let's go through some questions, because I think that's where we're going to get a lot. So she's had her hand up way longer than you, Gregoria, but we're going to get to you. Do I think Texas should secede from the nation? That is what's called an E in the PACE plan. The PACE plan is this. The military has this all day long. Primary, we run it the way it is. Alternative, we go to the next level. Contingency, that's an emergency plan. That's in the Texas Constitution, by the way. That is in the Texas Constitution. It is authorized based upon the annexation 1845, when they made the deal that Texas could continue to do that. But remember, we had a civil war, so there'll be people, lawyers, that will argue that. That's an emergency. If it all goes to pot everywhere else, that's an emergency. And it is in the Constitution, we would have to discuss it. It would beg the conversation. Without at the E. I think we're somewhere between the P and the A, or maybe far into the alternate plan, which means full leadership and no politicians that are taking the money out the backside. So that's me. That's a personal opinion. So we're going to go to Cordio. You have to stand up next to here. Yes, sir.
One question I have. You know that I've tagged you a few times on some of my comments on X about the radicalism that we have in this state and country.
Right.
What will you do to eliminate the problems that we're having? Because in my district, we're already having a lot of these Muslim radical folks that are in here. I have nothing against people's faith, but I don't think that's a faith.
I'll do exactly what I'm doing right now, which is to find, fix, and finish, expose, analyze, and disseminate. So that's a cycle that we use.
Yes, sir.
To close out problem sets downrange. Now, I can't finish in the sense like we do downrange, because if you finish there, it's pretty ugly. But we can actually use law enforcement to finish, to close the door on those particular things that are threats. So right now, we've exposed the illegal CDLs that have been given in Texas. When the Afghans came, hundreds of them were given licenses. Most can't speak English. That's one. Colony Ridge, I flew over it last week. There's a video going to come out soon. They just edited it. It's going to show that Colony Ridge, which is 40 square miles in Liberty County, is mostly illegals that are living there, mostly from South American countries, but is a haven. It's a haven for the cartels. It's 40 square miles in a very unpopulated area. Right now, the population of that is at about 150,000. It will be, if it reaches 200,000, to the 18th largest city in Texas. There is no law in there. Many have been pulled out. Number 3, Sharia law. I talked about it before. We have to enforce the current laws, which means no other constitution comes before ours, period. You can't have a court doing that. It's just, even though the current administration says we've outlawed it, you haven't outlawed it. What you did is you read the fine print. That's the legislative labyrinth that we live in. When you read the fine print, it says certain practices of certain peoples. It doesn't list the word Sharia. So it's not outlawed, right? So if you say something, you mean it. And if you mean something, then say it. But that kind of side talk and it's just, we're done with those days. That's why people wanted President Trump. They wanted somebody that's going to say what he did. There are things I disagree with President Trump, but he always does what he says he's going to do. And so, yeah. But thank you. Those plans are already underway. I mean, our team is working on another one today. And we got the finest and the brightest, some of them tier 1 operators that are analysts. So we're working on it. But there was a question here.
I'm one person, but you know what? It's got to stop. It's got to stop in Texas.
Hey, I believe it's a sovereignty issue. When she was talking about the toll roads, I only got somebody that was pretty passionate about this the other day that lived in the hill country. We're sick and tired of these guys wearing these little spandex, whatever things, riding their bicycles down the farm roads. I'm trying to take my farming implements down the road and come around the corners, 80 guys on bicycles. I'm like, I can't stop that. I mean, but we should, right? I mean, if you think it's a safety issue. But yeah, with regard to toll roads, I believe it's unconstitutional. I'm not a lawyer, but I would put the Attorney General on that. We got several of them that run it right now. Hopefully they'll work together well in the sandbox. Otherwise, they're going to work together with whoever it is. So, but yes, we'll continue with that line. Yes, ma'am. Right, so that is a huge problem in the state of Texas. Okay, we have batteries underground that have lithium in them, right? That have Chinese components in them. We have wind towers that are a facade. You drive to Lubbock and you see all the graveyards and blades. There's more energy that's put into building one of those than they'll ever give out. That's all of the new green scam. I think I heard that said last night from one of the congressmen. I like that, but it's a scam. Carbon storing, when you put it in the ground and then you trade on the bond market, it's much like things that are not tangible. You can't really understand why. They didn't study photosynthesis, that carbon dioxide is not bad for you. It is bad for you if you didn't have oxygen coming off the trees, but if we don't have carbon dioxide, we don't have trees. And so there's got to be a little common sense if you use there, just basic things. But with regard to the grid, there's a guy that responded during the winter storm Uri and was bringing in warm water into the cities of New Braunfels and all the way up to San Marcos, and then going out and finding people in their homes frozen to death. For me, that grid could be plussed up specifically by, right now, as a stopgap measure, natural gas generators, natural gas generators. We use 40% of that capacity right now in the state of Texas. We got more natural gas than anything. When you drive through the fields of the Permian and you see those, they're burning off natural gas, we can cap those, we can use those to use in extremis and emergency, that other 60%. And then the other thing is that we have to consider the mini nuclear reactors. And mini nuclear reactors are safe. They don't have the same issues that the big ones do, and they can be used for dual flow, produce energy in local areas, but also along the counties along the Gulf of Texas, I'm going to call it for today, the Gulf of America, where we can put desalination plants in. And much like Kansas is doing now, they're just finishing up a 10-year plan on an aqueduct that takes water from the Ogallala River in Kansas and moves it to the ranchers that need water. Okay, well, go to Abilene sometime and talk to them, or Lubbock. I was just there. They get 18 inches of rain, and we've got data centers that are coming in. They're taking hundreds of millions of gallons in a year per data center to cool the servers. Oh yeah, well, we just talked about that, but yes, absolutely. So that is the problem. So we can produce the energy. We've got to forecast a little bit. We've got to forecast a little bit because You don't just look at problem sets when they pop up on you. As a commander, I always told my guys, they knew it intrinsically. There's a line of time. I want to do it this way. There's a line of time, left and right. This is before, this is ahead. In the middle is a thing called bang, the IED of the road. All right, don't hit that. Well, if you think about it when you're over here, you've already hit it. We've got to be left of bang. So if I use that theory, left of bang theory, I'm saying we've got to plan for the contingency before it happens, which means we've got to do those things right away because 2050, 2070, when Texas will be dry, that's the estimate, we need to be ahead of it. So there was some over here. Okay, we'll start with John.
Briefly touched on it, but what would you do for someone who's like a member who's been planning for a Republican Party? What would you do in taxpayer fund lobby?
I believe that falls into the category of a primary issue in the next plan, and that is because it is counter to transparency. Absolutely. So that would be, if we get away with it, an executive order, right? And I don't like executive orders because they can turn into a fiefdom or an empire kind of mentality. But the things that are emergent, because they won't do anything about the AEB legislature, will not do anything about it. The other thing that I would require is cameras in the room when a lobbyist meets a legislator, or we'll call it T-SPAN instead of C-SPAN. So you can watch it on Thursday afternoon, T-SPAN in Texas. Here we go. Lobbyist so-and-so, or Governor so-and-so is talking to, I have lobbyist meetings, I keep it on it. It keeps all the backroom deals from happening, where when I go to the county commissioners in Abilene, and they say, we didn't know they were going to put a AI data center out here. They want 300 more, sir. What? Who made that deal? It's called expansion of our technology sector. Yeah, we're 9th largest, 10th largest economy in the world. We're 40th in education. We better fix that before we try to bring in more technology. Okay, sure. Okay, there's one in the back here, and I'm sorry, I'll come back up to you.
Just a question from a neighbor in my precinct who couldn't make it.
Okay.
She just wants to know, are you going to meet with Trump? Have you met with Trump? And have you talked over, or will you talk over some of these good ideas with him so that he'll quit endorsing Abbott? That's a real
I'm going to say what I told Mary Flynn was here earlier. She left. Joe Flynn's sister. She asked me. She said, I can get you some endorsements. I said, I just want endorsements from the people. Not that I don't care, but it's not important. It doesn't matter what President Trump does if he's using an auto pen or somebody in his staff is doing it. I don't know. It seems like he's endorsed Abbott every time. It doesn't hurt my feelings. I've briefed him before through General Flynn for national security level things. So he just told me his, at the time, his Green Beret gun polar beer guy. He doesn't remember my name, but that's okay. We will meet. We will discuss issues, but there won't be any political ones. Yes, ma'am. Well, you stop it by going after the networks well before it's taking place. These were the things that were advised by my staff to the governor's staff 3 years ago. 3 years ago. We've had 400 some odd mosques built total, 48 in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I can't stop a religious entity from conducting their faith. But if there's a network that's hiding within that, as they did downrange to us when they hid weapons in mosques, I'm not saying they're doing it here, but I still, as the guy that's in charge of job description number 2, Governor, Commander-in-Chief of all Texas Forces, State Guard, National Guard, Air Guard, and BPS, and Texas Rangers. So for me, I take that very serious. It should already be underway right now, the networks. It would jump up in rank as far as importance. Does that answer the question? Yeah.
Thank you. There's this lady down here that I think is before me, if you want her.
Oh.
Sorry about that. Do you have support from any local newspapers in Texas? I know they have.
Well, I'm going to tell you, in the periphery of Texas, the local newspapers and TV stations come out, and they get us on locally. I would imagine if I were a tyrant, I would probably do something to keep that from happening. Speculating right now, but no, not a lot. But not a lot. Periphery, yes. In the cities, no. I'm willing to talk to anybody except for 2 political pundits that are children that like to throw out grifter names, and I don't play with children. If they do their homework and find out I actually am a doctor, or I actually am a Green Beret, then we'll go serious, but I don't talk to children.
I used to be in a newspaper business, I own a business paper here in town, and if you would go to everyone you talk to and ask everyone in this room, and every room becomes to saturate the editors, saturate the newspapers.
I will add that, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think I would.
Saturate the newspapers and editors.
Ask them to.
Ask them.
You want to read an article about them, and then sit down and talk to you.
That's a great point. We'll add that each time. Yes, sir, in the back.
Thank you for your service. And I would ask, my name is Ronald Fry with the Republic of Texas. When you get elected, will you free and pardon Bonnie Strait, get her out of Texas prison?
So I have to look at the merits of the case. I don't know that case, but it would be something that would be, obviously, anybody with any request that way, I would definitely consider that. Hard for me to answer that question now.
Within your power.
Anybody's jailed illegally, unlawfully. I mean, I'm friends with a lot of J6ers. A lot. You are too? Yes. God bless you. I would have stopped it that day. Okay.
So I have 2 questions. Are you on Truth Social?
Thank you. Let me listen to her, please.
Are you on Truth Social?
On Truth, yes, but not a big presence there. I mean, it's just,
You should amp it up. Yeah. Especially for the people that are not on Facebook,
Okay.
on X, on Instagram, or anything like that. I volunteer.
Why is that?
The next question is.
I'll have you run the site for me.
No, you don't want me to do that. So the next question is property taxes.
Yes, ma'am.
So I heard something the other day, and the proposal is to get rid of property taxes and go to a 7% VAT.
It's very European of them.
Sorry?
It's very European of them.
Yes, very European, and I thought, okay, wait a minute, first off, how, 7%?
Yes.
I think that's just too much, except that I started.
Yeah, you can have a map, but it just can't be 7%.
That's what the proposal is, anyway, but I started thinking, well, then I read a little bit more, and they were saying, well, this is gonna be separate from entities like school districts. School districts decide they need more money, they can add an additional 3% onto that VAT, which then people would have to pay. So, I'm thinking of ways like, how are you gonna be able to control this without all of these entities going crazy, and now all of a sudden we're paying 25%?
So we need to look at definitions first of all in this tax world, because this is the things that I'm very good at. It's not taxes, it's patterns. Patterns of tyranny. And the pattern of tyranny looks like this. Let's say I'm the governor and I want to place blame upon the local levels and say, well, it's them down there that are doing this. I've watched this happen the last 8 years of my career in the Texas National Guard and in Kerrville when we had the floods and the special session showed up and the lieutenant governor pointed at the locals and the locals pointed at him. The definition of this thing, well, who can affect what at what level? And what happens from the top down to affect that level? So me as governor, if I declare an emergency, somewhere near 200 counties are still in an emergency declaration in the state of Texas. They haven't rescinded. That allows for a certain percent tax at local levels to increase. If they don't stop, Kerr County went like that on the floods, despite the demise, despite the fact that divers like Gregorio were out there working with us. I wasn't in the water, but they were pulling out bodies to give people closure, and immediately went to a tax. Heartless. But then the governor can point out that, so there are second and third order effects of that. Right?
And Abbott stated the other day when he was here in Fort Worth that, you realize that it's not the state that charges property taxes.
That's what I'm talking about. Right. But it is the state that sets the tone. Right? Because if and he's done this when he lured in big corporations, it's out there. Previous laws in 88, 87 sessions previous laws that are out there that said, not laws, but essentially no usury fee for this particular large corporation to drive up and down the roads with 75-ton trucks, right? Yet the locals have to pay for the infrastructure. That's what taxes are all about locally. So
They do it for 10 years at a time.
bingo. So we've got to look at the definition first and get back to the original reason why that happened then, because I feel for the county commissioners and the city leaders and planners. When I get out and speak, and one of them's a city planner, and he gets to Zoom, but then where am I going to get my taxes from? And then I listen further, and we sit down and we have a meeting, and I talk to central appraisal districts and find out that Johnson County's got it figured out because every one of them's a citizen and not appointed. But it's now you find out the game that's happening at the true level, right, where the rubber meets the road. But I talked to that city planner, and I said, well, tell me about San Angelo. He said, we used to have a hospital here. They allowed it to become a 501c3. The hospital paid a lot of taxes that helped us at the city level. It's gone. So we got to increase our taxes. Well, how did they achieve a 501c3 status? We don't know. But it happened at the state. I don't know. They're making a lot of money. The corporation that runs them is HRC. That's out of Florida. And HRC is the evil empire. That's a Floridian corporation that took over all the hospitals in North Texas and now moved their way down. Denison, Sherman, all the way to Gainesville, it's moving in. So these big corporations come in, it's corporate greed, corporate health, that's got to be centralized medicine. You will never see mRNA products in my state because that will be the moratorium day one. That's also another executive order.
Now we go back to Enron. Those places decided that they were going to pull up stakes, and they fired everyone that worked for them. Because they have Florida, there's nothing anybody can do here in Texas.
Right.
I mean, so it's like,
These are deep discussions that the task force will have to discuss. Yes. Okay, so right here.
Property taxes, you know, it's a vicious circle. The county tells you to go to the school district tells you to go to the city tells you to go to the county, and everybody, you just chase your tail. What, you can't do anything as a governor about our property taxes because they're all local, can you? I mean,
Well, who sets the rate of appraisal increases? That comes from the state.
the appraisal district.
The appraisal district, but who sets it? Government. The appraisal district runs it. But when the people that are on the appraisal district are appointed, right? Appointed. Are there allegiances with you or the appraisal district to raise more money for that district? If it's just a regular, average, everyday citizen that's passionate like you, and you sit on that appraisal district, that's when we control it.
Well, I own a home, I will serve my own interests if I'm from the appraisal district, but that's the thing, is that there's just no way to control it.
But nothing is hopeless, man. Nothing is hopeless. Nothing is hopeless. I'm sorry. I refuse to accept that.
Okay, then here's another hopeless one. We're becoming the center of data centers, and I'm getting one within about less than a tenth of a mile from my house. They're loud, they use up a lot of electricity, they use up a lot of water, and it's in the city of Fort Worth. I live in the city of Forest Hill, it's across the street from my house. The line is right there on the street. I can do nothing about it. How is the state of Texas going to do something about it? Because we are becoming the center of data mining centers.
I was just talking about that. They want 300 more in the state of Texas to be in West Texas to turn that whole thing into a data mine. So when I say they, right. So when I say they, who's the they? Who makes the deals?
Governor.
Governor. He makes the deals. He's the one that goes out to courts, those businesses. The last one was Microsoft and handled Apple. I saw it. I saw it happen. They didn't know it was coming, but it came. So either you have a governor that's going to stand in the gap for you, or you don't. One comes with hope, one does not. I'm the guy that's going with hope. And hope is not a plan. I've told my troops that many times. I sure hope the enemy doesn't attack today. Guys, hope is not a plan. Right? So you've got to have people that come in with action. So I have a team specifically on that is working right now with no pay to stand in the gap for Texas to stop that. We've got to get in office first. So Gregorio, Last question from you back there.
Yes, sir. One question I have, and this is a little personal for me. Being a recovery diver, when are we going to find and be given the accountability and transparency for what happened and why it happened? Why was it
That's a
allowed
great
to
question.
happen?
Thank you, sir. Yeah, that's a great question. We went from 92 bodies that were missing. In 24 hours, they said 2 were missing. These guys are in the water every day.
Yes, sir.
It's impossible
No,
to have found all those bodies in one night.
no, sir. They're
Well,
still
that
missing.
next morning. What that's called is taking something out of the news cycle. Those families are still asking us, can you come back? They're not allowing us to go back. I have to dive that river, so there won't be any closure on that one, unfortunately, because they're too far gone. But people need to know. Those families need to know that they're still on accountable. But good question. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, you were saying something about the lady was talking to. I will not endorse anyone as a person that's not an incumbent. You pick up all their enemies when you do that. And I don't care about endorsements myself. I don't need them. I need you. I need you. So for me, if I do that right now, I pick up 3 candidates' enemies. It's not wise. Okay, so right here.
When people were drowning in Colonel Adams in India, inviting more people from India, does he get any kickbacks? Is there any way to prove that he get any kickbacks when he was accepted?
I'm sure there's a way to prove that, but I don't follow that right now, so I wouldn't know. But I do remember it because we were, the lieutenant governor did come down when we were down there. Came down for a good 6 hours to help out. Okay,
Nobody is speaking about this. The Texas Stock Exchange. My issue is that the founder is BlackRock, which equals Larry Fink, which equals Morgan Stanley, which equals Klaus Schwab.
Do you see a pattern here, folks? She's talking about the Texas Stock Exchange having some ties to BlackRock.
That scares the hell out of me. And people are not looking at it like that. They're like, no, 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 I'm going to stock exchange.
That is why we have somebody who's running a 3rd term wanting to go for a 4th term, because there are a lot of people that are happy with the exchanges of business for payers, unfortunately. That's just the nature of man. That's why term limits are so important. Yeah, we need to not allow BlackRock to run the Texas Stock Exchange. Get right back there. Yes, ma'am.
Can we talk about education for a minute?
Sure. You got 4 minutes and 85 seconds.
We have so many school districts in the state.
1,207, yes, ma'am.
And we are so top heavy in these school districts. I don't understand why the state of Texas hasn't taken some of those positions and made them common that the school districts can use, because we do not need all those people in upper education, and we need to use the roles of the kids that are here illegally to get their parents out. And I think if we did that, we'd have money, because we're doing so much translation for these kids that don't speak English. What is there, 80-something languages spoken in some of these school districts? I think it's so ridiculous that our taxes keep going up, and if we had a common way to approach it, then maybe we can get rid of some of the.
Everything you're saying is completely correct. Will you give your name to Miss Lydia so you can be on the task force because you're passionate? No, we would love to have your input on the task force, honestly. No, we are working on that. We talked about 80% of school taxes goes to administrative costs. We talked about 1,207 superintendents that are out there making between $250,000 to $500,000 a year. Now, as an emergency room doctor, if I was to go back into medicine, I can't. I got shot through my left arm, and I can't use a couple fingers. But I can't go back to work as a doctor. But I wouldn't be able to make that much unless I worked every night of the week. I have to make dollars. I was a emergency room doctor. So if you have one example, this is Marble Falls. They have one school in one district. They have another school in another district. A set of schools, elementary, middle. One superintendent for one set of schools. Okay, that's a little bit. You could probably pare those down. We can knock down 1,207 districts, whatever we need to knock it down to. But those are the things that have to happen in the weeds, if you will. We can discuss it all day long, but until we get up there and do it, we have to do it, but we need the witty ideas. I can't come up with every idea of the fire hose of information I'm drinking.
My kids, we lived in Highland Park.
Mhm.
We used to drive.
Grade school.
It was grade school, yeah.
Yes,
We
ma'am.
used to drive through these sections and we go, swimming pool, new stadiums, thank you, Highland Park.
Right.
Because they were stealing money from our school district. And I know we had money, no one boo-boo, they didn't care about us, whatever.
Mhm.
But it just gets so infuriating that these smaller school districts need to have these
Yes, ma'am.
stadiums. I don't know, Orland ISD has that common area, which I think is great. I just think there's so much waste in that area. And also, I heard another gentleman that was a representative here in Texas. He was saying they should have a standard building, what do you call it, architectural plan for new schools. Because they said there's so much graft into creating the design for new elementary schools. They said they're pretty standard. And if they came up with one design that they, or a couple designs that they could pull from the state, they could reduce the architectural cost of building new schools.
Hey, I understand it. I understand this. There's a guy out there, his name is Mitch Wexler. Okay, so if you don't know him, you need to, yeah, thank you. He's great. But he is great because he understands one thing. He understands it really well. And it's not all about just one thing, but it's a vector. It's the school bond issue. And the school bond issue has got us nearly insolvent in the state of Texas because you're taking money to borrow to pay for things that you borrowed before, but the taxpayers are the ones paying the bill to build a new, whatever, $25 million stadium or something. I got no problem with sports, but I do whenever I see that the Texas ranking went from 41 11 years ago, 41 out of 50. We did better. We're now at 40 11 years later. You can't. If you don't have a track record, you don't have a track record. Alabama is beating us right now. Mississippi is beating us right now. And what are they doing to jump up several notches? They're decentralizing education. I said at the beginning, I'll say it again. Any state in the nation that has done well, decentralized, meaning they took the power from the state and gave it to the people below. The money. That's perceived power to most people. But it's the ability to operate with funding at the local level because it's more efficient. If you operate in a centralized system, you're now giving a lot of money to administratively administer to people that are conducting lower level administration. Now we got two. It's redundancy. They cut out one, but they bulk the money to save the people on the ground. It's decentralized. We need to do better than Alabama. I love Alabama. We gotta do better.
I feel like the problem is our school districts are such autonomous entities and that they're taxing the heck out of us because they're the ones that are demanding.
I agree with you.
Grade schools to be raised so they can get more money. It's ridiculous.
I agree with you. I'm with you. It's what I'm hearing. Partially. God bless you, sir. Stand in the back.
Regarding elections and election security,
Regarding elections, yes, ma'am.
as you may have seen, Trump just did a shout out to Dallas County GOP
Sure
for their hand-counted primary efforts using the same method, the ECHO hand count method that you actually helped show some other sheriffs in, and you learned it yourself and participated. Tarrant County is considering adopting that, or we're exploring how a hand-counted primary could look, given the criteria that our county is dealing with, because we have slightly different criteria from other counties. But in general, are you supportive of counties attempting to lock down their elections?
Absolutely. I agree with President Trump 100% on that one. We have to go hand count. We know that the ARC machines, the ESS and Smartmatic and all those machines that had source codes that came out of Venezuela and Serbia were straight man-in-the-middle attacks on our infrastructure. National security level stuff. We're talking about voting.
And our mechanism to secure it is simple. Simply returning to casting ballots by precinct will secure a significant amount of our elections. It will restore ballot secrecy for all voters, and it will restore auditability by eliminating the need for redactions post-election. So those two.
It'll allow for a more honest audit as well.
Yes, and speedier, more affordable recounts as well for every candidate to audit and speedy to recount if we have a concern over potential discrepancies. So I just wanted to say thank you for being there to participate and to learn about the new hand-counted method.
Yeah, that
we
was-
fully endorse the ECHO hand-counted method. He's the only candidate that's shown up, that's learned, and that has actually participated. He's done the new hand-counted method that we have. So I just wanted to say thank you and then ask if you're still on board with our efforts.
Yeah, that was over a year ago when we did it. Thank you for that. That was over a year ago. Went up to, it was actually in Tarrant County that we did. It was in Fort Worth. We did the Sheriff's Association meeting and then tried to get a bunch of sheriffs to show up at the booth. And I thought, well, I'm going to go through this and learn how to do this ECHO group hand count system. And then we sat down with the sheriff from Tarrant County and taught him. And it was like playing cribbage. We had a good time. It's that easy. But you can actually close out the precinct and have the information that night, which is important. And a little more secure, a lot more secure than just plugging something into a machine that's been coded by someone in Venezuela. The same.
Thank you.
There's a question back here. We've got time for 2 more questions.
Yes, sir. So regarding the state's growing at an exponentially large rate, so what can we do in regards of SMR, small modular nuclear reactors, and potentially try to build more nuclear power plants around Texas, because this is probably the most reliable source of energy, as you know, this other stuff that we've got across the state. Wind turbines is just not good for it.
Well, we were talking about it earlier. We didn't mention it. If you were out of the room, you didn't hear it, but we were talking about the SMRs. I'm completely astute and understand that technology as well, because as a special operations flight surgeon, I've got to protect people against any kind of damage from those things. They are completely safe. And they're completely somewhere between the capability to run a whole desalination plant on the coast. That's what we were talking about, pairing that up with that, but having them on standby, because they're mobile, to move to places that require surge protection should we have a problem in another winter storm.
And not just SMRs and nuclear, but even just coal and gas power plants.
Gas as well, we talked about,
You
yeah.
know, when I started concentrating a lot of the energy sectors around the U.S., and it seems like even we talk about data centers and AI, so much of this is coming to Texas, and they're just going to be sucking the hell out of all the electrical grid. And we've got to get like Meta and these other companies that are just draining the electrical grid and jacking the rates up for, your average person. And make these guys start, building their own SMRs this is the big frontier, right? It's the unknown, and we've really got to get ahead of the game.
You had me at hello. Yeah. We'll put you on the task force. I'm actually meeting with somebody this next week specifically on after Christmas on that. Yes. And good. It's like an auctioneer. Hey. Okay, one more question. Anybody? Wait, she got you first. I'll meet you on the backside. We're going to one in the back too. I'll give this concession.
Is there any way to get rid of the local people in TEA? You're taking over the.
I'm abolishing the TEA. That's good.
I just want to thank you for your service, and I want to thank you for the expos the other day about the spraying in our skies. Because without the
Spraying in the
soil,
skies is
yes,
not-
the soil and the water, and all that gets contaminated in the rock and the sun, all life.
We collected soil samples on that during the floods. Mike Adams is working on that.
Appreciate that, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. All right, y'all. Be blessed and have a great Christmas. God bless.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to donate to his campaign. You can scan the QR codes, we have the yard signs outside, and go to chambers.org. Once again, before we leave, Dr. Bruce Mackenzie has a quick announcement.
Oh, okay.
Well, my name is Gregory Heiss. I'm running for District 30. I'm
Hello.
running after Jasmine Crockett.
My name is Dr.
And
Brooks McKenzie, and
we
I'm
are
here
going to bring
to
back
welcome state
common
wide
sense,
initial
God back into our
candidate
schools, and get rid of this
So, I would
ideology
love
that is
for
being
you to
pushed by
sign
the Democratic
before
Party.
you leave.
Please vote for me, Gregorio, for
The
Congress.com. Thank you very much. God bless you. Is that good enough?
That's great. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
God bless
you. Yes, thank
You
you.
guys are awesome. I need all the help I can get
You gonna
because
be in Dallas?
I'm in Dallas. I live in Arlington. Yes, ma'am. I'm in Tarrant County. That's why
Guys, I just want to make a
I didn't
reminder
speak
that
to her.
there's
So
free books at the
thank you.
front of the
Do you have a
entrance over here.
Okay.
Feel free
You got
to
my
take as
number.
many as you
I
want.
go to this. You can just text your information. Yeah, you can take a picture, send it on that phone, and it comes right to here. All right? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, we're going to end this. Hey, guys, we're going to end this. We're saying goodbye. Thank you all for being in.